Hello, everyone. I am Amanda, and this is Wellness Me Up. And this is where we talk about the weird, the wise, and just really wildly supportive sides of wellness with coaches who can actually connect with you and support you during all the wellness things when you are just done with pretending that everything is fine. So today I am joined by Kayla McDonald. Kayla is a personal trainer, a weight trainer with certifications through BCRPA. I also understand that Kayla has certifications in eating psychology, precision nutrition, dance alchemy, and inner coach level 1 and 2, which Kayla also explained is one of like the best programs for just helping clients unpack resistance, and it's all about the stuff that can hold them back from doing what they know they should be doing or creates that self-sabotage. And so I asked Kayla to just sum up their approach to wellness in 1 or 2 sentences. And here's what Kayla said. I help women break free from disordered eating habits and chronic dieting through creativity, play, and an unconventional twist on inner work that makes their health and fitness journey feel like a spicy book talk romantasy novel. So everyone, let's grab our teas and just take a deep breath, and let's see what Kayla is going to share with us today to just help us all feel a little bit more wellnessed up. Hello, Kayla, and welcome to Wellness Me Up.
Thank you for having me. It's good to be here.
It's really, really exciting to have you here. And I know that I'm currently focusing on coaches like all across Canada, and you were saying that you are all the way out west in BC, right?
That's
Yeah.
correct.
And are you supporting clients like in person when you're out there, virtual? Like how are you supporting everybody like when you're out on the West Coast there?
Clients I have right now are virtual. We did just move mid-September. So now the goal is to partner with a yoga studio or a fitness studio to bring in the dance alchemy classes because it's such a unique modality that places and it's a good complement to other types of movement.
Mm-hmm. And so I'm already hearing movement, all the things. We know that even about your introduction, but I do like to ask the same kind of questions throughout this podcast, just so people really know what areas you can support them in for wellness things. So, and there are these 6 areas of wellness that I focus on in this podcast. There's spiritual wellness, relationship wellness, emotional and mental health wellness, physical wellness, life transitions and identity wellness, and then there's this financial and purpose wellness that's happening a lot out there too. So I know I heard little bits of dance and movement and nutrition and fitness. So I'm pretty sure that you might help people in that physical wellness, even emotional, mental wellness. Is that right?
Yes, so I actually work in a 4 element framework. So I do earth, water, air, and fire. So there's going to be the physical component, but honestly, not as much as you think these days. The emotional component, the mental component, and then a bit of that spiritual component as well.
Oh my gosh. So you're like really doing like a lot to like help people like support them through the journey of the things. My gosh, yeah. Hmm. When so help me, let's walk through like how a client might even find you, right? So like if they were saying they're at home, they're frazzled, they're like, I don't, they're finding themselves on a little bit of a cycle, don't know what to do anymore. What's happening? They're like, I don't even know what it is that I need. I just know I need to like have something to like, I know I need to change in what and how do I change and what do I need to do? And then so they stumble across you. How is it that you're meeting a client when you first meet them or in that space of like, let's get you through the things that you're wanting to work on in those goals and wellness?
So a lot of people will find me from the podcast I have. So it's got about 200 episodes at this point, and there's stuff about everything from spiritual growth to food freedom. That's a huge thing I focus on, to reclaiming your sensuality. It's a whole, there's 200 episodes. There's a lot there. So they might find me there. And my approach to wellness really goes deeper than the what to eat and even just the habit building. Those things are so valuable and they are so important. But what I found, and what I found with many of my clients, is they know what to eat. They know how to train, and they know they can do it sometimes, but they find they struggle with the consistency. And that's often people pleasing. It's all or nothing behavior, perfectionism, tying their self-worth to their performance. And that'll lead to things like self-sabotage, burnout, binge and emotional eating. So they'll often find me and realize this goes deeper than a willpower problem or a lack of knowledge problem because they have all those things. And then they're ready to take a deeper dive and also ready to try something that maybe they've never tried before because my work is a little bit more unconventional than the average personal trainers.
Hmm. And so, okay, I want to go back because I know at the beginning of that you said a lot of people can find you at the podcast. What is your podcast called? So people can find you on it. And let's hear these 200 episodes where you're diving into a lot of these things.
Yeah, so it's called Embodied Writing Warrior.
Body writing warrior. And then that's on your socials and people can find you really easily with that. Amazing.
Yes.
Okay. And then so it's funny because like sometimes people like the way that I'm structuring this podcast, it's like you can go right into the next question, which you kind of already answered. And so it's like what is something that tends to unlock people like this shift or this moment or this truth bomb that starts to propel them into their wellness realizations or goals? And you kind of already alluded to that, right? And you said that word of consistency. And it's like these are the reasons why people might struggle with that consistency part of it. So I wonder if that's like this big realization when they're coming to work with you. It's like, oh, it is consistency here, but like let's unpack where that lack thereof or like why am I having a hard time showing up for myself in this way? So I wonder if that's like, is there like something else that kind of like this like haha moment that happens with clients when they're working with you?
I think two things will often happen. And they have these epiphanies of one of the reasons that they've been struggling very often and they feel like they're doing all the right things and it's not working, that tells me that they are on the hard labor path of wellness instead of the luxurious vacation path of wellness. And yes, your wellness journey can feel that good. But what happens is people get on this hard labor path. So they feel like they have to do it. It's a chore, it's a drudgery. They feel like they're doing it possibly because they don't feel good enough exactly as they are. So they try really hard, they put a lot of effort in, they hate it the whole time. And because they're hating it the whole time, their body is actually in a stress response. And when our bodies are in a stress response, they are not primed to get more energy, lose weight if that's a goal, whatever it might be, right? And then they'll be frustrated with their slow results. So then there's the burnout, then there's the self sabotage, and they just feel awful the whole time. But then you come to the luxurious vacation version where you get really clear about what do I want my relationship with food to be like? How do I want to feel in my body? What would actually like just feel amazing? And then they're pulled towards that vision. And then they decide that they're unavailable for it to feel like garbage. So they create a plan and a routine that's tailored to them. And then it feels good. So they don't care how long it takes because they're having fun anyways. And then because they're feeling good, their body's actually in a state where it responds better to these changes they're making. And it becomes a positive upward spiral versus this like hard labor downward spiral. So I really love helping people do is realize you don't have to be on the hard labor path. You can choose the luxurious vacation path and it will take you farther. You don't get any bonus points for suffering, which I had to learn the hard way many times over many occasions.
This is such a fun concept, like reframe to do in our minds, right? Because it like when you present it that way with like two options, it's like, well, our minds like, I'm gonna be like, well, I want to have the fun way. Thank you. Like, sign me up for the all inclusive. That's what I want
Yes.
to do. I want the joy, I want the smiles, I want the laugh. Like, how is this going to feel really good? But when it's like, oh, this other way is this is the path of this way, if you're going to think this way, but you can choose and it becomes then a choice And that starts like regulating our like our systems already into that and being like, hey, this feels good. I want a little bit more of this. So it's a really, really insightful reframe for, what we can do with just with our wellness when it comes to our nutrition or our fitness goals or any of those things that we're doing. How is it that you were looking at it? And perspective is really, really important, like shining that light on things as we get going on some of the stuff that, is important to us that we say we want, but how are we actually showing up for ourselves and doing it? But then how are we looking at it? Are we looking at it as like, oh my gosh, I have to do this? Like this is not good, or this feels fucking amazing. Like let's do more of this. How do I get more of this? Yeah, I
Totally,
love that.
yes.
Yeah. And so um like this already is very cool, like with the reframe that you can offer people and support people with that and then get more of that into their wellness. So that I could already, and this is question 4, but it's like the question I asked is like, what are your clients usually most surprised by after working with you? Like, so when they're working with you, they're like, oh my gosh, like Kayla, like where did you come from? Who are you? How did you get me to do this? Like what are they like? You are so different from anyone else I've worked with or a way that I've thought. What surprises them from working with you? Because this reframe already, I haven't heard it explained in this way yet before, with giving these options of like, hey, choose this or that luxury vacation. That's such a fun narrative and imagery that comes to mind. So what are people really surprised of other than the vacation that they're going to get from working with you, obviously?
I think one that comes to mind is the level of safety I always strive to create in spaces and how I work very hard to never make a client wrong. And in addition to helping people with health coaching, I also help people write books. That's another one of my absolute loves. And I had a client who hadn't written anything for the previous 2 weeks. And then they felt like they didn't have anything to share and they were kind of like down about it. So I said, let's do the super conscious transformation session. So this is one of these really powerful modalities for getting to the root cause of resistance. So we kind of unpacked what was going on, and so many things came up that they weren't even aware of until we started going into them. And that allowed them to have a lot of breakthroughs about what was happening emotionally, mentally, spiritually below the surface. And that made them feel safe because I wasn't like, you didn't do anything, you're a bad client. Because there's gold in that resistance because we're not just trying to do the thing, we're trying to grow into a person who gets the thing and keeps the thing. And you do that by going into these deeper levels. So I think people are really surprised that I'm never going to make them feel bad or wrong. We're going to
Mhm.
find the positive intent that came from whatever happens, and we're going to use it as an opportunity for growth. And then just doing these types of unpacking sessions with people, they are always astounded because they didn't even realize some of the stuff was there until we brought it up. And then once we bring it up, we can really start to shift it in positive, conscious ways.
So this is like really incredible and surprising. Like for somebody to get there and be like, oh, so you mean I'm not gonna like I feel like this thing, like I'm gonna get in trouble or I'm not gonna be able to show up, or I'm gonna disappoint and do that can really deter people from going to go work with a coach or do these things or shift or change or just make that decision for themselves. So then to be met in an environment where they're actually going to be supported and feel good about this, and then using the tool alongside of that of like story writing, and it's almost like it's like akin to journaling, but in that way of writing a book and doing it too, that's incredibly healing as well, and giving them another modality to like just express themselves with. This is really fun. Like, you are a lot of fun to work with. Like you we're doing vacations, we're writing books, and we're also working on like our nutrition goals and fitness and all of these things too with it, and just learning about yourself too, which is like that is a big part of wellness, is just learning and unpacking these things. And how do you do that? This is how I show you do that. Very, very, very cool. And it just makes me think of like being on a vacation and reading the book, but now you're just on the vacation and now writing the book too. So this is this is very fun.
Totally.
Very, very cool. That's and it will help people that have a lot of nervous likeness and hesitation to
Hmm.
just have that space where they can come into and just feel like a little bit lighter. So nice. Not bad. Okay, now we're knowing who Kayla is. This is very helpful. Um, okay, so question number 5, what I've been doing for this question 5 is it's gonna be like my favorite, like one of my favorite parts of the whole show. Because I like to just keep things very random and absurd and very human. Because I just think that that's where a lot of the good stuff can happen. And in life, we all, a lot of us as coaches can hear this out there. This whole, healing is not linear. It's not a straight line. All of that. That word's kind of out there everywhere. That phrase, and it's so true though, because it's not like we could be feeling so great like 1 minute, and the next minute we're like, what the fuck am I doing? Why am I on the bathroom floor again? Why am I wandering around the cereal aisle? Like, what is happening here right now? Like, why am I going down this aisle again when I haven't been doing this in my grocery shop for so long? Or whatever is happening. Maybe something, a relationship changes in your life, or a job change, or any of these things, life things happen, right? That just throws off. So I'm calling this the wellness isn't linear, like WTF wheel for that reason. And full disclosure, I did use ChatGPT to come up with these questions. And I just plug them in, and we have 6 questions that the wheel will land on. And we could be ending up like talking about something really deep, or we could be just suddenly talking about doing mushrooms and building IKEA furniture. I have no idea. I have no idea what kind of energy happens. It can go absolutely anywhere. The last podcast I did, like we were talking literally about, we ended up on a plant medicine journey. Like that's how this happened.
I'm a little
And
jealous. I wish I had been there.
it was fun. Like it's gonna be fun. Like we're like, how did we get here? And I'm like, this is what happens with the wheel. So I'm like, there's no wrong answer. I can go ahead and we'll spin it, and we'll just see what everybody's favorite robot assistant wants us to talk about today. So let me go ahead. I'll share screen, and we're gonna give this thing a spin. All right, can you see the wheel? Okay.
That is so cool.
Isn't it fun? I thought it was very fun. It's called like it's on this app called Picker Wheel, and I'm like, it just is really cool to just make a random decision. If you can't decide what you're doing in your life, just put things into a random wheel and a spinner and let the wheel decide what you're doing with your life. It's great. Okay,
Perfect.
we'll spin this. It looks like this. Okay, so what is your bare minimum wellness move? Bare minimum, like that you absolutely need to do or move.
It's my morning routine. And my morning routine doesn't sound like a bare minimum because I've been building it for quite some time. But that morning routine is everything. So there's journaling, meditation, dance, and then usually workout after that. And I will say I'm very blessed in that I don't have any kids. I was still doing it when I worked a full-time job, but even then I just prioritized that because I didn't have all the other commitments. And I am able to get up at a ridiculously early hour to do it no matter what.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And so it does take a really long time to build a routine, right? We think that and I liked how you phrase that. It's a bare minimum, yes, but the amount of work and time to actually construct that and be like, this is who I am now and doing this, and that is now your routine is the thing to do, right? Like it takes a while to shift into that. Like I remember I used to be a smoker. Like my morning, I was talking about this the other day with a friend. I'm like, my morning would start with waking up, going outside, and having at least 3 cigarettes before I would even do anything. And then I would get in the shower, and then I go out and smoke again. Like that's how I would do it. I don't even know how many packs a day I was up to at that point. And so transitioning out of that life like 6 years ago, I remember being back then, well, what do I do with all my time? Like I don't know what
Mhm.
to do with this. And then even hearing you say too, like you're like, I'm very blessed. I don't have kids. I don't have these other commitments. And so looking at our lives, it's just like, what can we do, or what can we shift into? How can we build that new identity? How can we shift a little bit, right? And it is
Mhm.
different. Each of our client like have different commitments, different jobs. Like I work fully remotely, so I can build my day different ways, but not everybody can do those things, right? So it's just like, where are we meeting people with where they're at and what tools they can do? And then you've been able to construct this routine because of, where you are in your life and what's happening. And this is now like essential to your day, like essential. You're like, this is what I need to do. Do you always work out to the same music? Like, what kind of music are you putting on when you're working out to these songs and doing this? Is it the same one that kind of gets the juice in every day?
Very eclectic music taste. So I
Okay.
like some EDM, I like some rock, I like some pop, the occasional country song, but not very many.
Okay.
Even some metal. Like I am all over the
Yeah.
place, and it really depends on the mood I'm in the morning.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's incredible that you've been able to build this for yourself and do this, right? And like, you just wake up and this is how you start your day. Like, so good. And then you're just off on vacation and, writing your books and doing these things and supporting people with all the joy and all the stuff. So this is just freaking amazing. I like that. Yeah. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. The morning routine is a good one. And like, does it ever like, have you ever does something ever spiral you off the morning routine and you're just like, oh fuck, like I didn't get to do this? Or is it priority? And this is something that you're doing consistently every day.
I can't remember the last time I've missed it. I've
Yeah.
maybe missed it. So I don't drink very often,
Yeah.
but when I do drink, sometimes it gets a little wild. And I'm a lightweight because I hardly ever drink.
Yep.
So I may have missed like one or two over the last 5 years because I've been
Yeah.
like in bed, unable to move without getting
Yeah.
sick.
Exactly.
But
You're like, this is not what's happening in my day today. So this is not happening. Yeah, exactly.
that's
Right.
been about it, I think.
Yeah. But then the mindset to be able to get back into it, because sometimes that does happen with a routine, right? And an event comes up, you're out with friends too late, whatever else, celebrating, shifts you off your routine a little bit. And sometimes it's hard for people to just get back onto it and continue with it, right? So you're really leading by example here with things, and you can talk about this stuff with your clients too, I'm sure. Yeah, very cool. Awesome. Okay, so last question, and then after we do the question, I definitely want to like chat more ways about like how people can get in connection with you, and just if there's anything else you want to mention. But the last question I want to ask is the name of the show. So, what does Wellness Me Up mean to you in your own words?
It means looking at wellness again, not as that like chore or that have to that's like an obligation. It's wellness is actually really expansive and it's ideally going to be like the best part of your life. It's that way you pour into yourself so that you feel your best so you can show up your best in every other part of your life. That's what it means to me.
I've literally got goosies. It is the best part of your life. And it's something to look forward to, right? It's that reframe that I've seen you do. Like, I've only spent like literally like half an hour, I think, with you. And I'm like, the reframe, that flip side of the coin, and looking at it in this different perspective and light, right? I really, that is incredibly meaningful perspective. Thank you for that.
You're
And
welcome.
so tell like let's share how, if somebody's like, okay, yep, they're doing the checks listening to this podcast. Yes, I want the reframes. I want consistency. I want to feel like life is an all-inclusive vacation, writing my book, doing these things, and working on my wellness goals. How are people getting in touch with you to work with you on these goals for themselves?
Best place to go is embodiedwritingwarrior.com. So there is a form where they can contact me. I'm taking one-on-one clients currently. And then I do have a group program called Food Freedom Fantasy. And that's where we get into that spicy book talk magic. It just started, so I'm running one right now, and I'll be opening up a new one in the new year. So then there's places on my website where they can sign up for the wait list. So they know when the next one opens up. And I try to do at least one master class a month as well. So December's is called Eat Me,
It's called what?
Reclaiming. It's called Eat Me, Reclaiming Appetite, Pleasure, and Power Through Your Erotic Blueprint. It's actually one of the most creative things I've come up with. So, erotic blueprints aren't mine, they were created by Miss Jaya. But I've taken my eating psychology knowledge and I've put them together because if your body speaks one language in the bedroom, speak the same language in the kitchen. And when you work with your own unique wiring, it's life changing. So I'm very excited for this masterclass. It's December 3rd, I want to say.
This is the spicy, romancy, like novel stuff that you were talking about with this erotic blueprint and doing this, right? Because like, oh, that is incredible energy to tap into. What can people expect through this? Like what just if they've never heard of this and they're like, I'm sorry, what is Kayla doing? Like if their ears are like, did we just literally move from talking about books, all inclusive resort to now spiciness and bedroom talk? Like what is happening? So if anybody else is like, what is going on? Please tell us what's happening here. We won't tell anybody else. Nobody else. I feel like the gals from Call Her Daddy might be listening in on this right now, but that's fine. Like we can have this conversation.
One thing everyone will know after this is like this woman is a woman of many interests and she does hard right turns faster than anybody. But yeah, so this erotic blueprint thing is something I realized after I was reminded of it in a workshop I did with someone else. And there's 5 blueprints. So there's sexual. So that's kind of your basic, like you're turned on by the regular stuff, right? Like naked bodies, regular stuff. Not very many women have that blueprint. That's the most common blueprint for like straight man.
Okay.
So then there's energetic, and energetic needs like more space. They need a really regulated nervous system. They really get turned on by like eye contact and like the energetic and the anticipation piece. And then you have sensual, which is your romantic. So they like the roses and the candles and the aesthetics, and they want to be like just basically in a romance novel. And then
Mm-hmm.
you have kinky, and these ones are turned on by like power plays, domination, submission, taboo, and sensation. And then you have shapeshifter, which is a combination of all of those. And you have those blueprints that work in the bedroom, so they have different strengths and different shadows. So I took all of that and I realized they're also going to have strengths and shadows in their relationship with food. So, what a kinky blueprint type needs in their relationship with food is going to be very different than what an energetic person needs in their relationship. So, depending on when this comes out, I break this all down in episode 206 of my podcast, and that comes out next week on Tuesday. So, it's coming out super quick. So, if anybody's like, I still want to learn more, but don't know if I want to come to the master class, there's a podcast coming out as well.
There's a podcast coming out. This is the analogies that you're drawing between these and making the comparisons between this are so important with it's unlike a lot of people I've ever kind of worked with doing this, with drawing these parallels between two totally different topics. But relationships with food and then having healthy boundaries around those relationships with food are such an interesting topic, like with working with somebody with nutrition. And then again, that goes into that whole that mindset of like, oh, this is going to be so hard. I don't want to do this. I have to give up things, or where's that? And then unpacking, like, where's that coming from? And being that mindset shift of like, this is how we want to feel, and these can feel good, and what to do. So I can start to see where we might start to draw some parallels with the coaching that you offer people. Well, 200 episode 206, you said? 206.
206.
Okay, I'm tuning into 206 because I'm very curious about this. Like, yeah, I like once that happens, like I can even link this in here, like let me know and be like, hey, follow up, like come over and look over at Kayla, like what's happening here if you want a little bit more about this information. How
For sure.
fun. This is where the like the spicy book talk stuff comes in. How
Exactly.
cool. I love this. Oh, amazing. Okay, so they know where to get in touch with you. Is there anything else? Like I know sometimes this happens, right? We hit end record on these podcasts that we're doing. And then something happens after, like, oh shit, like I wish I had just brought that up or talked about that to you. Is there anything else that you want to let the audience know about you, about the coaching that you offer? Any other like podcast episodes that they definitely need to be checking out? Like with I can't 200, like what an accomplishment. That's incredible. Let me know. Mhm.
So if they are wanting to know more about this whole spicy book talk thing
Yeah,
and how it all works, I actually have a special series on my website. It's called embodiedwritingwarrior.com/divine daddies, which I know that title is cringe for
I
some
love
people.
it.
Some people like it.
It's so good.
So,
I love it.
and that's a huge part of the work I do is archetypal work. And I help my clients create these two custom archetypes for themselves. One's like the fiery challenger, because you need that sometimes, but one's like the safe, emotionally regulating space that reminds you, and you need to take a nap, and you're worthy as you are. And these two archetypes work together to help a person not only achieve their goals with accountability and structure, but also helps them enjoy the journey and stay present. So I have a whole like audio listening storybook that takes you through the story of how these archetypes have helped me and then how people can maybe create their own and do this work on their own if they don't want to like dive into a full program with me. So that would be another really
Mhm.
cool resource.
That is a really fun resource. Like, so using that imagery and that character like sharing of like, who is it that you might resonate here? Or if you don't, maybe you need to just create your own and let's build that like for yourself as well. And then that transitions into the book writing and all of these other things that you do that just it's this cohesive bow with all and things that you would not ever think could kind of go together, but they are. How this is so fun. I'm so glad that we like crossed paths and yeah, we've connected. There are so I'm like I want to go pick up the phone and be like and all my girlfriend chats that I've got going on. Be like, you need to go and listen to this podcast over here. Like this is some good stuff that's happening. And check out Divine Daddies because how amazing is that? Yeah. That's incredible. Oh my gosh. Maybe Alex Cooper is listening from Call Her Daddy at some point too, and she's gonna have you just guess on the story. Like she's gonna hear Divine Daddies and be like, where's Kayla? Get her on the show. Like, really? Yes. We'll just send this over to her as if I know her. I don't know her at all, but maybe one day I will. Yeah.
That's like honestly a bucket list goal because it would be like the perfect show based on, divine daddies and whatnot. And just
Yes.
so it's on the vision board.
Okay. Well, we'll just like my company is called Amanda Festing. Like I know I'm here Wellness Me Up and that's just a part of it, but let's just see what we can manifest for you for this to make this happen. And yeah, that'd be amazing. Amazing. This is so much fun. Your energy is just so good. Um, thank you very, very much for being here today. Is anything else popping up for you before I hit that like last like end record any of the things? And if it does, we can always just like link it to the episode too. But this has been awesome.
I think I covered all the things. So thank you
Yeah, I think
again
it did.
for having me. It's been so fun.
Amazing. Right on. Okay, so that's another episode of Wellness Me Up, and here's to everybody just getting a little bit more wellness up in their day to day, one episode at a time. And we will catch you next time.